Hey, how's it going? Garfield! Don't be so quick to believe what you hear because lies spread faster than the truth. Wasn't looking for Garfield, but I grew up reading Garfield. I still have 25 of his little books, maybe. He started off, I believe, as just a little strip in the comics section of the newspaper. And then, what was his name? Jim Davis. Did enough of them that he put them together in these little books. And if you were part of the Reader's Library Club thing, or some kind of club thing, I think it was a library club. It might have been something like maybe Scouts too. I don't know. Where did that come from? Maybe it was a school. But maybe it was a school. But they would have this little brochure kind of thing, and you could order up books. It was this promotional thing to help kids to read, and they'd have all these books that you could pick from. And I read quite a few Hardy Boys stuff. They had some adventures, and Garfield. They're not all funny, but there were quite a few of them where he got me going pretty well. I read like one of them, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something, and it was like, I see the humor in it, but not like I did whenever I was a kid. So it's changed. But Garfield, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's see what it is that I'm looking to do. So let's go ahead and do a test run. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, and that is I want to be able to go through a whole bunch of different videos. And I think what it'll be is that going over all the topics, but as they come up, and then kind of filling that information out. And some of that stuff, it has to be limited. So for example, one of the things that I wanted to put down there was kind of the experts. So an example of this would be Thomas Sowell with economics. I don't need to have 100 experts. It's like whenever I find one where it's their focus and they know what they're talking about, like it just needs to be a handful, and then that's good enough for me. That's all that I need to do, and then I need to move on because I that's wasting too much time. Now, whenever the website gets going, it's like that's going to change. But for right now, it's like that'll suffice. Well, I guess what I want is that I'm tired of the lies and these politicians and these just trash people who just continuously lie about stuff. That's one thing that my website will address. Okay. And then the rest of it, like, you know, what are other countries doing and stuff? I was taking a look at it because I hadn't pulled up one in a while. Probably will still have the definition in it, and that's because, yeah, let's be clear what it is. Do I have it up? Yeah. And so this is the little thing with COVID right here. And have at the beginning, this is not about changing anyone's minds on anything. I believe whatever you want to believe. But I just want to have the truth here. And then you decide for yourself what you want to do with it. And so I think having this here at the top, it's like, yeah, it's not too long, pretty accurate, good enough. The side A and side B, I haven't been using this. While it sounds really good, I was thinking about it. It's like there are some things where there is no discussion. One side just dominates. An example of this would be Where's the other one? Okay, so there was this thing in the news with Loudoun County where there was backlash over school social justice agenda stuff, and that oh, what's her name? Beth Barts. She quit. She got off the board, and she said because it's the right thing for me to do for me and my family. It's like no, she should be in prison because she let a boy in the girls' locker room, and she allowed it because because he said that he felt like he was a girl. He came from a different school where he assaulted a girl, went to this new school and assaulted another girl. And both of these, I think, were both in her jurisdiction here. You know, and so they just transferred him from one place to the other. And then here, there's an article from ABL. It's titled, Male Amazon Driver Disguised as Transgendered in Bathroom Arrested. And so this is the dude right here. He didn't know that there were cameras on in there, or maybe somebody took a picture of this. And he drives for Amazon. They found out who he is. A 23-year-old male Amazon driver was arrested in Massachusetts near the border of, I don't care. And it's got some information about him. Does it show a picture of him? This is the video.
Ray Charles could have seen this one.
This is the video that I saw with him. But that's the kid right there. That's a 23-year-old. No, this is him kind of in disguise.
Now, there appear to be 10 cameras, recording devices laced into the man's sneakers. He was gone that day, but surveillance video soon led investigators to 23-year-old Jacob Guerrero of Woonsocket, Rhode Island. A search warrant gave police access to his phone, which contained photos and videos of child pornography.
Some of the children.
And so this is just, it's the local news outlet reporting on what it is that had happened. And it's this transgender nonsense. You know, it's like, no, there's no transgender stuff. You cannot change your gender. You cannot, no matter how much you want to wish on it, cannot change your gender. There's only two genders. There's only two genitalia. That's all that there is to it. So if we take a look here, I'll go ahead and pull that one up. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So what is transgenderism? Transgendered people have a gender identity or gender expression that differs from the sex that they were assigned at birth. Like, no, their gender identity is what they were assigned at birth. If they want to express it differently, it's like, all right, this first part, I don't think I agree with this. But with the second part, it's like, well, if you want to express yourself as the opposite sex, it's like, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. But if that's what you want to do, as long as it's not being forced on others, I don't care. Knock yourself out. Some transgender people who desire medical assistance to transition from one sex to another identify as transsexual. That is a lie. There is no medical assistance for changing your X and Y chromosomes, men producing eggs, women producing sperm. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. The real terminology for this is gender mutilation. You are mutilating your body. But again, if that's what you want to do, I don't care. But I'm not going to lie with you. I'm not going to tell those lies. I'm not going to do anything to propagate any kind of evil in the world. Because like right now too, there are a lot of people who are taking advantage of children, screwing them up for life. Whenever children, man, they don't know their left from their right, just like us all. All right. So what is transgenderism here? Let me change this. So what does this look like? Well, let's have the definition. Let me update that one. I don't have this top part up. All right. I'm not trying to change your mind with this stuff. If you want to believe all of this stuff and you're keeping it to yourself, and for others who want to go along with this, go ahead, knock yourself out. More power to you. I'm assuming most of you are grown-ups and that you can make up your own damn mind. Live however you want to. You want to go jump off a cliff? I don't care. Go ahead, knock yourself out. All right, so some facts. One is that feelings are not facts, and that's what people do all the time. They claim that, well, I feel like. It's like, I don't care what you feel. People feel all kinds of stupid things all the time. People who suffer from anorexia, they too think their feelings are that they're fat in their minds, but they're not. Gender dysphoria is the same thing. It's people who feel that they are the opposite sex in their mind, but they're not. It's like, what's between your legs? What are your chromosomes? And then the last one I put is being a woman is more than a feeling. And then studies, it's like, there are no studies for this. There's nothing. I mean, it's just self-evident. It's like, oh, that's what he's got between his legs, and that's what she has. There's no studies for that. It's just, that's what that is, and that's what that is. And so then questions I had, name me one man that has removed his genitalias and how poorly worded. Oh, and now has a fully working vagina, eggs, uterus, and can also get pregnant and has a child that he breastfeeds. Name me one man who's done that. One man that has gone from being a biological man to a biological woman. There's zero. Same thing in reverse. Name me one woman that has a fully working penis and sperm and has gotten a woman pregnant. There's zero. Name me one man that has had all of his Y chromosomes changed to X chromosomes, and name me one woman that has had half of her X chromosomes changed to Y. Because men have both. Men have X and Y, women only have X. What are the surgeries and hormone treatments that fake doctors suggest that you do to transition to the other fake genders? Because this is also all that, oh, well, I identify as a fairy. I'm a fairykin. Respect my pronouns. It's like, no, there's nothing. There's no Z, there's no Zer, there's none of that stuff. What are those? If I say I am a turtle, that does not make me a turtle. And it's like, this is done. There's nothing more to talk about because you have to do these things. These aren't talking points. These are facts. There's not one man or one woman who's done any of this stuff. Not one. There's nothing else to say. Until this happens, I might listen. I might go ahead and listen. But I tell you what, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this. the argument stops here. Maybe, and then this is why I'll listen, because maybe there is something that I'm missing. So I will keep my ears open, but until this gets addressed, I will not lie for you. I'm not going to do it at all. You are not helping these people or these children by going off and lying to them. And then with occurrences and relative topics, I think I'm not going to do that. Because while the occurrences are kind of good in a way, I want to know about, I want to gear up for the next presidential election. So it's like, just with occurrences, we've got like, what, 2 of them right here? We have this male Amazon driver disguised as a transgender in a bathroom. He went into a girl's bathroom, the woman's bathroom, and he started taking pictures of these women and these little girls. This is not a transgendered man. This is a pervert and a pedophile. That's what he is. Period. Same thing with this kid, that she decided to quit her job on the board or whatever because this kid, who was a biological boy, kept going into the girls' locker room because these people said it was okay, and then assaulted 2 different girls. 2 14, 15-year-old girls, something like that. I think they were in high school. It's like, no, he's not a transgendered person, because there's no such thing. This is a boy who is a pervert who's assaulting women, girls. That's what this is. Now, are all of these people who pretend to be the opposite sex, are they all perverts? I don't know. But it's not healthy. It's not helping anybody. Spreading a lie does not help. I don't hate these people either. But this is not the answer. All right. So Beth Barts here. She needs to be marked down as a liar. I'm not going to do that, because if I did this for every single thing, I'd have something beyond my control. When I do the website, she can be there. Link to this. So what I do want, I guess I do want occurrences. I don't want relevant topics. And so I guess with this, it would be occurrences. Yeah, we know dates. Yeah, whatever. And the side for now, because it's open to change, is it is a lie. And until something new actually happens, then this is it. And I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying that based off of what I know of right now, as of today, it's wrong. So then let's take this, and we'll take the title of the article, and we'll post it there, and then we'll take the link to it, and we'll put it right underneath it. Or beside it, like that. All right. And then the other one right here. Same thing. Title of the article or video. And then the link to it. Okay. So yeah, I guess we will have occurrences. And then with politicians, let's make their names stand up. So for example, whenever Donald Trump or Joe Biden, whoever, whenever they lie, we want their name there. And then if I was going to continue this, there'd be another word pad that would have Beth Barts and then a lie. So I need to link the two together. So since this is on a website, I can't hyperlink the two. So let me think about this. All right, so October 17, 2021 is the date. And then for that one, and then October 21st, 2021 for the Amazon driver. So with the one with Beth, if we were doing hers, then it would be a page on her, you know, like a profile, like Wikipedia, like that, where it would have a hyperlink back to this. And I guess it would be, for me, since it's just me, it's just going to be the date. But whenever the site gets going, it'll be something more than that. It'll probably be the entire title of the article at hand. This is what you're going to be able to do, is that whenever I get enough people going on all of this and the site gets going, you can join and you can be a member and you can do this and you can expose these people. You can expose all of these lies. You just can't put your feelings on there, though. That's not what I'm doing. I'm putting what are facts. These are what they've been exposed doing this. She quit. And she quit because of this kid assaulting these girls. This male Amazon driver is taking pictures in bathrooms of women. Those are facts. It's not my feelings. My feelings on it is that I don't agree with it. I don't agree with transgenderism. If you want to or not, that's fine. I don't care. But this is a lie. Also, what's a lie is that you cannot change sexes. Your gender cannot change. There's no such thing as gender fluid. If you want to pretend, if you want to act, that's okay, as long as you keep that to yourself. But I tell you what, I've seen a couple of these little videos of where these guys, especially these younger guys, they're still young, they're like 19, 20 years old or whatever, they're like in college, and they'll do their makeup and their hair and stuff. It's like, looks like a damn girl. I tell you what, some dude comes up to me and is lying to my face and says that they're a girl, and I find out that they're not, man, a fight's going to happen. I'm not okay with that. Now, there's a difference, with actors. It's like, yeah, they lie and they pretend all the time, but they don't hide it. You know that they're pretending, that they're acting. You want to come up and you want to try to scam or con me? It's like, no, because I don't care what the scam is. You're trying to con me, you're not going to get my good side. You will not use my civil nature as a weapon against me. You're going to treat me like trash, you're not going to get my civil side. You treat me good, I'll treat you good. Cool. You come up and you tell me, hey, I'm dressed up. I'm really a guy. I'm not really a girl. Okay. I don't want anything to do with you, but, I'm not going to. Thanks for telling me. I appreciate you not lying to me. Go do you. Whatever. Don't care. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. But this is going to be how it starts off on the website, kind of roughly, is that because this is Loudoun County. They've made the news. What's going on with you? I don't care where you live either. I don't care what country it is. Anytime, any place. Yep, and it's also going to. I have a lot more for right now. That there's checks and balances with it, but for right now, this is kind of good enough. I don't even have it going on. I don't have enough members to be able to do anything. But I want to start doing this and putting this out here. I'm going to start building this up, and it's because I also want y'all to know that, you know what? And if I'm wrong with this stuff, check me. Absolutely. I have no problems. I do not care. Like I said, I've said this before. Whenever my mom was dying from cancer, I didn't give two damns who had the cure. Whether if they were gay, straight, young, old, trans, or whatever. I didn't care. It did not cross my mind for 1 second. It's like, if you've got the cure for cancer, I want to know. It's nothing. I don't care if I'm wrong or right. It's like, I've been wrong about a lot of things before in my life, and I'm going to continue to be wrong. But I want to put it down to a minimum as much as possible. All right? So, on my website, you will matter. All of you will matter. I need your help. Help me find out what the truth is. I can't report on every single county, every single school board, every single politician, every big company. It's literally impossible. I couldn't even hire enough people to do that, even if I wanted to. It is literally impossible. And there are companies out there like Google who try to hire all these people to do all this stuff, like YouTube, trying to hire all these people to make sure a certain narrative is going on. And it's like they have such a hard time doing it with just a small little set of things that are going on in the world. They're only kind of going after these large kind of ticket items, I guess you could say. It's like they're nowhere close to being able to deal with the things that are going on with everything everywhere, with all of these people who are in positions of power, who completely abuse their positions of power, who are corrupt, who are stupid. And you know what? We'll throw Beth a bone. Is that maybe from what she understands is that what she was allowing to happen was fine. And who knows? Maybe in a way, it could be. From what I understand right now, I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing out on something. So, anyways. But I want things to be better. And I know things are not going to get better with lies. And so here's another one. This is a video of female student athletes fight back against the woke mob pushing transgender competitors. And these girls are talking about, the one in the green here is the lawyer for the other two. And they're talking about how they never won against these guys. Never won against these guys.
What's your story and experience has been?
Excuse me. I don't know if y'all can hear that. All right. So I have my computer hooked up to my television because I don't have cable. And so it serves my TV in my living room is just like a huge monitor. It's fantastic. I love it.
My freshman year of high school, I competed against the two biological males, and it was just really demoralizing to know that all of my hard work and all the other female athletes' hard work wasn't paying off, and we were really just racing for second and third place, and we weren't going to get the spots that we truly deserved to get.
Selena, tell me about your experience.
I was forced to compete against biological males throughout all 4 years of high school, and I lost out on countless opportunities, primarily the opportunity to qualify for the regional New England championships in the 55-meter dash, and if they weren't there, I would have qualified. And I've had to compete against these athletes over a dozen times, and every single time I lost without fail.
Yeah. So in other words, and I think I've seen this girl before, where in every single race, whenever these guys are racing, they win. They're winning first place, and first and second place, because there was like two of them, and so I don't know if they went to the same school or not, but they were the ones no girls ever beat them. No girls ever beat them, ever. And that's what they just got through saying. So let's go ahead and let's add this here too. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Let's add this too for now, because this isn't necessarily a lie. But if this was like CNN saying that there's no difference between males and females and them competing, it's like, yeah, there is. Here's an example right here. But this is, what is this? This is Fox News. So should we give them a +1 for telling the truth? It's like, no, because that's kind of like getting a participation trophy. It's like, what, we're going to reward you for doing what you're supposed to do? No. And that's kind of like double the work. It's like, if you lie, then it's like a -1. You know, these politicians, these whatever, so they get a -1. But I guess we could use this if there's some media outlet who's saying that, oh no, it's not. It's like, no, it's not. These girls lost every single time to those guys. Those guys were never beat by any girls. You know, or what? You're going to tell me that every single female out there who's gone out there and run, they've done running, they've done weightlifting, they've done whatever sports, that every single girl around the entire planet they've all underperformed because they never are in the #1 position, that the guys hold those titles, that the guys lift more, they run faster, they do all this stuff, that there hasn't been one girl anywhere around the world in any time in history who decided, screw it, nobody's going to stop me, I'm just going to beat all the guys? Get the hell out of here. I'm not going to lie. Man, here. All right, and so here, I like this guy a lot. He lives in Canada, he's a lawyer, and he talks to an American lawyer, Barnes, and I think he's the one who's representing the Covington kids. I don't know much about Barnes, but the more I watch, I've been watching this Viva Frei for a while, and Barnes is kind of new to his channel. But the more I see of Barnes, the more it seems like he's kind of a big deal. He's a well-known lawyer within the legal community, so he's got some pretty high-profile cases and stuff. And so it's interesting to hear him. And both of these guys, both Frei and Barnes, they just talk like, it doesn't ever sound like to me that they're ever trying to spin anything. They just call it out and they're like, yeah, this is a lot of crap. They use some legal jargon in there, so, but they do a pretty good job of keeping it into layman's terms. And so here, 14-year-old dies from COVID. Fake news does it again. Viva Frei vlog. And he just gets in his car and he usually has one of his dogs with him. So let's listen to this as he claims this to be a lie, which it looks like it is. And we're going to go into this. And this will be the first one where we'll actually do the little marking against here.
You read a story like this, and after reading the story, you ask yourself,
How many times have they lied to me like this before?
Ah, man, isn't that the truth? So they used to have these old TV shows like Judge Judy and Judge Joe Brown, and they've had a lot of them. A lot of them came from, it was a series called The People's Court, and it's been going on forever. Judge John Kosh, I think, was like one of the first ones, and it was in black and white and transitioned over to color while he was doing it, and then I think it was Judge Judy after that. And then I don't think Judge Joe Brown was one of them, because the People's Court did well enough that it brought along competition. But one of the things that they talked about often, because after the court case and the hearing and all that stuff, they would have kind of like a commentator, news person there, just some person there with a microphone, and they would talk to the plaintiff and the defendant, as to what it is that they thought about the whole situation and what they were going to kind of do next, and interview them kind of one at a time and whenever they were gone. One of the things that they constantly talked about was that whenever you lie before a judge, if you get caught, then the judge is going to assume, well, you've lied about one thing, so why shouldn't I assume that you've lied about everything else? If there's one thing that you do not ever do is lie to a judge. It's because then your credit's shot. Everything that you've been saying could potentially be a lie. And that's why he said this, because it's that lawyer mentality right there. You have to ask yourself, how many times, other than this, have they been lying?
Have they lied to me like this before?
And then he talks about his dog right here.
Reading it, I said I absolutely have to do a video on this because I have to call out the fake news coming out of Edmonton, this time courtesy of City News. I mock fake news relatively often because I believe that fake news deserves to be mercilessly mocked until the point where they are forced to be honest. The other day I did a story
Me too. I just hate lying because it doesn't do anybody good. If anything, it's going to do harm. And I don't want anybody to live in fear. I'm not going to live in fear. I don't want you to live in fear. I don't want anyone to live in fear. And from my understanding of COVID is that it's nothing. It's a bunch of hype. For some people, yes, it is a problem. But for the average person, it's not a damn thing. But I pulled up the article. Guess what? Couldn't find it because they did a correction. Alberta's top doctor says COVID-19 not cause of teen's death. So updated Thursday, October 14th, 2021. And so it was posted 2 days prior on October 12th. The chief medical health officer, Dr. Dean, has removed the 14-year-old from today's list of COVID-related deaths, include it as a secondary cause. It's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Oh, I haven't read this yet. Let me pause. Okay, well, that was incredibly quick because there's nothing here. There's nothing here. They don't say nothing. This picture right here, a heart-shaped balloon and a bouquet of roses adorn the bed of a man. It's like, well, you're talking about a 14-year-old. This isn't even a picture because just listen. Just listen.
breaking down a fake news New York Times article where they were forced to correct an article that had overstated child hospitalizations by the small number of 800,000.
Over 800,000 total kids. A New York Times issues massive correction after overstating. What?
And today's episode of Fake...
I'm not going to put that one in because I'm still working this out a little bit right here, but I think this is going to be a pretty solid format because I tell you what, I want to be able to kind of rip through these quite a bit because there's just so much information going on, and I wouldn't be able to do this if there just wasn't so much lying. If it was all good, accurate information, it's like I wouldn't be able to do this. But they're like literally trying to give me a job because they're saying, you can do this because we're going to keep lying. It's like, okay, well then I guess I've got work, so...
Fake news is coming out of Edmonton, courtesy of City News, and the story is so shocking, it's so shameless, it does so much to erode any trust anyone had in journalism and the government. You read an article like this, and you say, how many times have they been lying to me like this in the past?
Yeah, no kidding. Because why should they stop? If they're going to lie about something about children and death, it's like, well, what the hell else is there? It's like that's kind of pretty high tier stuff right there. Children dying. We're going to lie about children dying so that we can screw with the readers, with the people that these politicians are supposed to represent, the government lying with all this stuff, the hospitals lying. It's like, no, not me. Not me. What about you? You want them to lie to you too? You want them to lie to your parents, your children? Hell no, screw that crap.
City news everywhere. Young teen among new COVID deaths reported Tuesday by Josh Ritchie. Posted October 12, 2021 at 4:05 p.m. Last updated October 13, 2021 at 10:28 a.m.
He said all that. I don't know why he said all that. Yeah, so posted October 12th, 20. Last updated October 14th. So
just read that headline. That headline is the stuff of nightmares. That headline is the stuff to traumatize people. It is everyone's worst fear. A young teenager succumbing to COVID. And bearing in mind how few people actually read past the headline, that is the only impression a great many people are going to get after having read that.
yeah, and that's why people come to YouTube videos and they watch someone like him or someone like me, is because we're going to take the time to actually kind of dig into it, so we can tell you, yeah, hey, this is trash. This is what they're kind of really saying in the whole thing. Oh man, wait until he gets into the article.
That headline. But for anybody who might have actually gotten past the headline, City News was good enough to include a summary, and when you read the summary compared to the article and the punchline of this entire awful story, just wait for it. Summary. The 14-year-old who died from COVID-19 is the youngest Albertan to die from the virus to date. Alberta reports 3,358 new cases of COVID-19 over Thanksgiving weekend. So you've gotten past...
And so that's a lie too. Well, I'll say, I don't know about over there in Canada or in Quebec, but I know people who are in the medical field, and they have flat out told me that they put down every single patient who's at their clinic or hospital, wherever it is that they're working, that they put them down as potential COVID positive. And it's because whenever they do that and they send it out to the government, then they get a big old fat check. This is one of the things that the Biden spending plan, that's where some of this money is going, to a bunch of lying places. And you know why? I don't blame the hospitals and the clinics either. It's like they're being told you can take money. Who's not going to take money? It's like the government is offering. I hold the blame where the blame is due, and that is for these politicians who are lying. Now, this is about to change though, because I'm going to start blaming the people. I'm going to start blaming us, because we need to put them in check. And this is what this website's going to do. This is a check and balance system that the people need to have with these politicians and these news outlets. They can go screw themselves. I'm not taking it anymore. And I can't do it all. Are you ready to step up and to defend the truth with me?
The shocking and traumatizing headline to the shocking and traumatizing summary, which states that the 14-year-old is the youngest Albertan to have died from COVID-19. Wait until you get to the body of the article.
And this, the article is saying is that the youngest person to die yet is only 14. It's like I thought it was this massive scary thing, and that all these kids need to be doing all these things at school too, that they need to have masks and social distancing. And I've seen it where, like in California, imagine that, California, where they've got like these plexiglass things up around the kids' desks. It's like the youngest one to die is 14, and apparently this is a lie?
Calgary. As Albertans celebrated Thanksgiving across the province this past weekend, Alberta reported its youngest COVID-related death to date. Notice the subtle departure from the headline and the summary. The headline and the summary stated that the teenager died from COVID, and the first paragraph of the article now says it's a COVID-related death. And then we get into the second paragraph of the article, which attenuates the first paragraph even more. Among the 33 new deaths reported over the weekend was a 14-year-old who had, quote, complex pre-existing medical conditions, end quote. Dr. Dina Hinshaw says the pre-existing conditions played a significant role in the teen's death.
It's just, that's so cringy. And this woman, this stupid piece of trash woman, she's doing this, you know, because I'm assuming she took a little bit there from, what is that? That alcohol rub stuff. Takes her mask off, is grinning for some damn reason, does it again. You know why she's grinning? Because I'm sure she's thinking in her head the whole time, you're all a bunch of suckers. Because there's nothing funny about this, whether if it's real or not. It's like, what, it's funny that you're lying to everybody? Or is it funny that COVID's a thing?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming today.
So we have gone from the shocking headline to the shocking summary, which said that the 14-year-old died from COVID-19, to the introductory paragraph, which referred to it as a COVID-19 related death, to Dr. Dina Hinshaw's summary of it, which says that the complex pre-existing medical conditions played a significant role in the teenager's death. This is beyond clickbait headline, clickbait journalism. This is just outright disgusting. But
yeah, well, wait until you hear what this complex pre-existing condition is.
Punchline of this story makes it exponentially more disgusting than you can possibly imagine at this point in the vlog. As for the other 32 reported deaths, they range from a person in their 30s up to a pair of Albertans in their 90s. And then we just get into some statistics which measure from the beginning of the pandemic. To date, 2,863 people have died from COVID-19 in Alberta. Over the weekend, the province reported 3,000...
It's so stupid. 2,863 people in Alberta. Let's look at it. All right, so Alberta, right here, population 4.44 million people. And they're saying to date, which means since it started to this date, which was just a few days ago, it's not even 3,000 people out of over 4 million people. It's ridiculously stupid low. Over the weekend, the province reported 3,358 new cases. So what? You know how many of those people are going to die? Like one. Maybe. It's just like maybe one. I don't care how many new cases there are. Nothing's happening to these people. Well, what are you talking about? The only people who are having problems with this are people who are extremely old. And it's not usually just one thing. It's that they have to be old, they have to be in poor health, like they're overweight, or they could be old and they have a pre-existing condition. That seems to be the biggest thing right there, is that there has to be something else already in play. Because there are old people who are, nothing's happening to them. They get it and it's like, it goes and it's like, it's done. It's like, there's a woman that I know that got COVID, but she also got pneumonia at the same time. COVID did nothing to her, but the pneumonia did. Because it's what happens with a lot of people whenever they get pneumonia and they're older. Same thing. Wasn't COVID. She got them both at the same time though, but you know what? It would be a new case.
358 new cases of COVID-19. The case breakdown for the long weekend is as follows. Numbers, just to instill as much fear as possible in the ordinary reader, and in order to instill as much fear as possible, measure the numbers from the beginning of the pandemic so the numbers of death is as high as possible. But before we get to the sick punchline of this entire situation, just appreciate where we are right now. You have that egregiously clickbait headline, you have the equally clickbait summary, then you had two paragraphs which attenuated the clickbait headline and the somewhat inaccurate summary. Wait.
He's just tearing it apart, man. So good.
Until you hear the punchline of City News' exploitive, egregious, shameless journalism. A Facebook post from one Simone Spitzer in reference to an article from Edmonton.citynews.com.
Oh, it's the same picture right there. It's a picture of some man instead of this 14-year-old. You know, I don't know. Oh, well, this is. Oh, she's showing that it's fake news.
.ca, Alberta reports youngest COVID-related death to date. City News, Edmonton. The 14-year-old on the article is my brother. He died from stage 4 brain cancer, not from COVID. This is fake news. He was diagnosed in January 2021 and hospitalized in August. 2 days before his death, he was tested for COVID and it turned out positive. Please share and comment.
Holy crap! The 14-year-old on this article is my brother. He died from stage 4 brain cancer? He was diagnosed of cancer in January, hospitalized in August, and 2 days before he died, they tested for COVID and it turned out positive. Okay, well, let's look over here. Let's look back to the updated article, because they updated it a few times. They posted it on the 12th. If you look on his video right there, it showed that they updated it again on the 13th, and then they updated it here on the 14th. On the 14th, Chief Medical Officer removed the 14-year-old from Tuesday's list of COVID-related deaths. They removed him from COVID-related deaths. Henshaw says the initial report included COVID as a secondary cause. It wasn't a secondary cause. It had played no role in it. But additional information indicates the novel virus was not the cause of death. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. It's just one damn lie after another. I will have links for all of these videos and articles down in the comment section, or down in the description below so you can watch these videos and read these articles all that you want to. One of these other, I'll go ahead and add this to, one of the checks and balances that I'm going to have in this website is that to help make sure that this is a little bit more accurate, one of the things that I'm going to do is that everybody's going to be able to look at this stuff, and you're going to be able to upvote or downvote it. Because if it's true, then upvote it. That's it. It's like, is this true? Is this article there? Is this video there? Is it true? Because what I'm not going to allow is just somebody just to be able to post the stuff, and it's like, where did you get this from? We need to be able to verify this. Like, why not you? Like, because, yeah, there might be a few people out there who are lying trash, but there are infinitely more people out there who are like, no, I'm not going to lie about this. I'm not going to lie about some 14-year-old kid dying from cancer and lie about it and say that it's COVID. Oh. All right. So now let's look up, or let me pull up my one over COVID. All right, so let's go ahead and go over this again, because COVID is kind of the one that I've done kind of the most about. So I'm not here to change your mind about how you feel about COVID. Whatever it is that you want to believe, I don't care. We all have our thoughts on it, and I'm not saying that I've got all the answers or that Frei has all the answers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to show that there's lying going on, and the lie in this instance is that a news outlet saying that this kid died from COVID whenever it was stage 4 cancer. And so then there's kind of a brief little definition of COVID right there. And then some facts is that, this is how many people who die from COVID in 2020 in the U.S. This is twice as many, though, who died from heart disease. There are more people who died from cigarette smoking, but we don't ban people from smoking and secondhand smoke or anything like that. Almost twice as many people who died from cancer. There's 61,000 who die annually of the flu, and it's like, that's not too much further from this 375,000 who have died. The difference, though, is that the people who have died from cancer and the flu, there's more of an age range. A lot of these people, from my understanding, is that the people who've died from COVID, a lot of them are just old, or they're already in pretty bad condition. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing was true with some of these other things like the flu. It's like, did they have any pre-existing conditions too? So, and then here's over 156 deaths from chronic lower respiratory disease, 145 deaths from other chronic lower respiratory disease. So together it's almost as much as COVID. And it's like, I don't give a damn about chronic lower respiratory diseases at all. I don't think twice about it. And then what is a vaccine? You get vaccinated for the measles or for polio, then you will never get it. And it's like Colin Powell, he was fully vaccinated and he died from it. Well, then that's not a vaccine. Because a vaccine is supposed to prevent you from even getting it, let alone from dying from it. And then here are these Penn State University, imperfect in vaccinations can increase the transmission of highly virulent pathogens. And I think this was something that they did before COVID even came along. And then at least 50% of COVID-19 infections come from people who aren't showing symptoms. That asymptomatic cases make up at least 80% of cases, and this is from the University of Chicago. So, of 100 of all the people who have COVID, 80% of them don't even know that they've got it. Or at least that's what they said here at the University of Chicago. This is what their study found. The CDC finds about 78% of people hospitalized for COVID, that they were also overweight or obese. So for me, that there is a difference between overweight and obese. For me, being overweight is 180 pounds to 200. Whenever it's 200 or more, then that's obese. So being obese is worse than being overweight. That's the way that they define it, with medically speaking. Underlying medical conditions and severe illness among over 400 or over 540,000 adults hospitalized with COVID-19. So the people who are just getting hospitalized, that 540,000 of them had underlying medical conditions and severe illnesses already. So it's not like they were in some kind of great health. Now, there might have been some, but we don't know, because I had a rash. It stayed for several weeks. I went and had it looked at, and they were like, it does nothing. And it's like, we can either fund there's like over 8,000 rashes. We can fund rashes, or we can fund the cure for cancer. Which do you want it to be? Oh, well, like it's cancer. But maybe that rash has some kind of reaction to COVID. It's just like whenever you go and you take medication. Something that they always talk about is that before you start any kind of new medication, go and consult your doctor to make sure that there's not some kind of side effect that you need to be aware of, especially if you're already on some medication beforehand. You know, so if you're already taking one medication and there's something else that you need to go take, you go talk to the doctor to make sure that the two of them aren't going to conflict with each other, because that happens a lot. And so it's very important for you to go talk to your doctor to make sure that nothing bad's going to happen to you if you mix those two medications together. So COVID-19 vaccination breakthrough cases, and so this is showing that even vaccinated, there are these breakthrough cases. It's like, that's not what a vaccine does. You don't have a breakthrough case whenever you get vaccinated. That's not what happens with the measles or polio or any of that other stuff. And that was from the CDC.gov, comparing SARS-CoV-2 natural immunity to vaccinated-induced immunity. And this is from Israel, and they had like 750,000 people who were a part of this. And it was saying that that even though they were vaccinated, they still got it. And then this one, or I think that was it. With this one is from Israel too. And this one is that 6 months after you get this vaccine, it wears off. And this is why you have to go in and you have to get another shot. You have to get a booster shot. You have to go in and take the pills, you know. And this is what they're saying, you know. And so it sounds like to me that if you do have a pre-existing condition, if you're old and you're overweight, then yeah, maybe you do want to go ahead and take these vaccinations and these pills and all this stuff. But if not, then maybe you don't. So go talk to your doctor. And now that whenever you go talk to the doctor, ask your doctor about this stuff. Ask, say, hey, this is what I've heard. Is this right or not? You know, what do you know? And see what they have to say about it. Questions that remain unanswered. Can you have the vaccine and still get COVID-19? And does it still spread? And the answer is yes. Did find that answer out. And you see it all the time, all over the news. It's absolutely everywhere. I've heard yes to both. Yeah, to both those. Yes, you can still get it, and yes, you can still spread it. When you get vaccinated, do you have a better response to COVID? And the answer to that is yes. I've heard yes, but again, go talk to your doctor. That if you get the vaccine and then you still get COVID, that supposedly it's not going to be as bad. So again, you know, if you have a pre-existing condition, even if you're young, you know, but if you're also old and overweight, it's like, yeah, maybe you really should go and get vaccinated. So again, go talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this indefinitely. It's just, it's what I think the case might be. So, and then, okay, so here's some things. AOC on this link right here, she doesn't have her mask on. But then somebody comes on up, takes a picture, she puts it on, and so do a lot of the people around her. It's like, what? If this is so bad, so AOC is lying right there. I don't know if I'll go back and I'll add all of this, but you can pause. Former President Barack Obama, technically he's still called the president. President Obama is getting nearly 700 people together for his 60th birthday in Martha's Vineyard. So what? He's creating a super spreader event now. Whenever news of this got out, he canceled the thing. And it's like, well, he shouldn't have been planning it in the first place. It doesn't matter if he did it or not. It's like he knew about COVID. He knew about this super spreader stuff. And it's like, it's all a lie. It's like outrages hundreds of maskless celebrities pack into the Emmy Award ceremony with no social distancing. Yeah, and they did that with the awards. And Seth Rogen says that there's way too many of us in this little room, and they all laugh about it. And they're doing absolutely nothing. They're not wearing masks. They don't care at all. All right. And so you can read the rest of this stuff. And then we have those immigrants who are coming across the border, and they're not getting vaccinated. They don't have to. They're just automatically letting them in. All right. And so from here on out, what does this look like? All right. So I'm going to put all of this together. And the reason why is because I'm worried that they'll change the article yet again. Because I don't want to quite put in his video, but they've already changed it once. So will they do it again? And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully they don't, but I don't know. I don't work there. I don't run the place. And then we will put city news. Let's see here. We'll put the title. And then we'll put also the link to that. And so now we have the video, and then we'll put the date on this. And I'm going to put the date of the article, not of the video. All right, so then what does this look? All right, so this is going under with COVID right here. In fact, let me do a little bit more. Let me put new layout as of 10 dash, what is it today? 21 dash 2021. Okay, so this is the way that my layout's going to be. So if you've been watching for a while, you know I've gone through this a couple of times already. I think this is pretty close to what's going to be good enough to get me from point A to point B, because I think this, I want it to be information packed. I don't want the fluff. I don't want this big narrative storytelling kind of nonsense. It's like, just get to the point. You know, I don't want to hear this big backstory. You know, just like with the article about all these people who have died since the beginning of COVID. I don't care about that. I mean, I guess about that a little bit. But if they were talking about how COVID came from bats, I don't care about that. I don't care. Or here's a better example. In his video, he talks about his dog over here. I don't care about your dog. I mean, it's nice and it's cute. You know,
a yeast infection in his ear, and I have to try and.
I mean, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But for all intents and purposes, for what I'm doing, if that was in all of this stuff with everything, it would just be way too much. It's like, for a vlog, it's like, oh yeah, fine, you know, cool. Anyways, all right. And so then the other layout would be, let me see, I've got like a billion things. Oh, there. All right. And so this one, another word pad, of course, because this is what I'm going to have to do until I get it. Edmonton City News. Is it four? Lie count. Right now, just one. I will probably not do another Edmonton City News. But it's for any of them. So, Fox, CNN, MSN, I don't care. They're all going to get their special little counter of lies. And then you can scroll down and you can look at this. So I guess also these need to be numbered. Where is it? Nope. Yep. Okay. All right. So that's number one. And then we'd go on to number two. And then what you'll be able to do whenever you join and become a member is that you'll have access to all this stuff. And then that way you don't have to go back and look at all my videos to figure out what the hell's going on. You can have access to all of this at your fingertips. And then you can put these scum in their place by calling out their lies. I'm not saying that this is going to make everything perfect. I don't believe in this fantasy utopia nonsense. But it will absolutely make things better. Obviously. It's like obviously. If you had to worry about this, because you know what's going to happen? Is that there will be patterns. We're going to see, does Fox News lie a whole lot or CNN? It's like, well, what's their lie counter at? Oh, the lie counter is huge. There seems to be a pattern here. Does Trump or Joe Biden lie? Well, what's their lie counter at? Oh, the lie counter for this politician is insanely huge. I would love to know about that. Because you know what? I don't want to be stupid. And I'm absolutely stupid for following a news site or a politician who does nothing but lie and lie and lie and lie. It's like, I don't want to be stupid. And you know what? There's nothing that we've really been able to do up until now because we haven't had the computers and the internet to be able to do something like this. But we do now. Our systems are outdated. And I tell you what, I have so many ideas for so many things, like with welfare and social security and police. And I tell you what, because I had an epiphany. I had two of them. One of them, though, is really fantastic. And the second one just was like, it's good too, and it goes with the first one. It makes everything clown world. I see everything backwards. Here's something that's just absolutely stupid. So I think this is the same guy. This one is from Fox News. Tucker sounds off on Pennsylvania governor over bill dictating fun time dialogue.
Really, from the moment COVID-19 left the lab in Loudoun wafted skyward, politicians in this country have been busy awarding themselves extraordinary new powers. Now, we've chronicled the growing egomania of our folk class pretty extensively on the show over the past year and a half. At various times, we've described these people as authoritarians, even fascists in our hotter moments. But in retrospect, language like...
Now, see, this is kind of the fluff that I don't want. It's fine for Tucker here and stuff, but I don't want it. It's like...
That turns out to be inadequate. Those are political terms, so they don't really capture what is essentially a theological phenomenon. Our leaders are doing things that previous civilizations permitted only their gods to do. In the 70s, if you look at him, you might think he's a retired middle school Spanish. An example of this comes from the state of Pennsylvania and his Democratic governor, Tom Wolf. Now, Wolf was a pretty balding man in his early 70s. If you look at him, you might think he's a retired middle school Spanish teacher or a greeter at Holt in a sweater. That is exactly how Wolf sees himself. On Monday, the governor announced that he is now so powerful that he has the right to determine what his subjects say to one another during sex. The exact words. Tom Wolf has written dialogue for other people's sex lives. If they fail to read that dialogue precisely, they are guilty of a felony.
And see, he's blowing it up. I'm not going to let anybody get away with this. what's his name? Tucker Carlson. He's exaggerating with this. So.
It's a pretty amazing demand when you think about it. If you're over 30, you probably recall when liberals used to fret about politicians trying to get into our bedrooms. At the time, it seemed like kind of an overstatement, but not anymore. Tom Wolf is already in your bedroom. He just barged right in. He's staying right there at the dresser. Watching. He plans to supervise every detail.
No, he's not. He's not doing that. He's still doing something that's incredibly creepy and it's like absolutely wrong. But Tucker's just going nuts on this. I don't watch him, so I don't know if this is what he's normally like or not.
On Twitter, Wolf explained that he intends to, quote, enact affirmative consent standards for all sexual activity that might take place on college campuses in the state of Pennsylvania. What does that look like?
So, just let's clean this up. He's talking about colleges and universities. It's like, okay, well, that's still trash because they're legal adults. Whenever you turn 18, you can go and you can join the military forces and you can die. I know. I turned 18. I joined the Army. I could die. So, no, screw this stuff. And I'm going to show you how stupid this is.
Like Wolf asked rhetorically, quote, we must move from no means no to yes means yes. Without an affirmative yes, it is sexual assault. In other words,
okay, so let's see just how stupid this is. Turn up your volume if you need to so you can hear this clearly. I will not play this quickly either. I will make sure that I have it on normal speed so you can hear what Bill Burr has to say. And again, I will have links to all of this in the description below so you can listen and read this at your leisure.
No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no it doesn't. Alright? Look, no means no. No, that means no. Alright, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Alright, you're being so bad. Stop it. No. That's not a fucking no. That means I want to.
It's like, yes. Well, what are you? Are you just... Well, what kind of loser has not been in that situation before? It happens all the damn time. You know what that is? It's just flirting and having fun, and it happens constantly. And it's like, no, it does not mean no at all. You are just dumb trash if you don't understand that.
Do it, but I'm afraid you're gonna judge me, so I'm just gonna make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you just sit there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
And you know what? That is something that has been happening. Is that these girls have been lying about this stuff, and then some third party person just starts reading this stuff. It's like, oh yeah, she said no. It's like, no, that is not the way that it happened. It gets to court, and it's like, no, that is completely wrong. Ridiculous. So this is a lie. This whole thing of no means no is a lie because there are, and he just gave a great example of that. And so, new bill in PA pushes for sterilization of men and lawsuits for them.
This
here, new law: women can sue men for getting them pregnant. This law is kind of a weird one, and it's in response to Texas coming up with their heartbeat bill, which says anyone beyond 6 weeks cannot delete their unborn. And this is just a way of getting back at them. But the weird thing is, it's from a different state. So we have this weird thing happening now where a state, someone in New York City or someone in California says, I don't like the laws here. I don't like California's laws. I don't like New York's laws. What are they told to do? Well, they're told to get out. Move to a different state then. Well, what happens when you're in Texas or one of these other states and people say, well, I don't like the laws here? You don't get to tell them to leave. No, they demand that we change the laws in this state to suit everyone throughout the United States. And so this is a representative. I don't want to get into politics of this, but there is a little bit of politics here. This is from Representative Chris.
Oh, okay. So this is not the governor. This is their representative. Okay, but I thought it was the same because whenever I saw his video, I just kind of made a little note to the side. I didn't know that Pennsylvania was going to be coming up again later in the day.
Rob. He says, proud dad, a rabble-rouser, public servant representing the people of Northwest Philly in Pennsylvania's 200th legislation district, and all Pennsylvanians, he/him. And so this is what he's putting forward. Now, I have to assume this is getting even with the bill that was passed in Texas. I have to assume it was. But it goes a little bit beyond. It goes a little bit beyond forcing men to not only get sued, but they're now talking about actually forcing surgery on them. It says, I will be introducing a bill inspired by Rep. Kelly Cassidy that requires all inseminators to undergo vasectomies within 6 weeks of having their third child or 40th birthday, whichever comes first. So now we're not men anymore. I guess officially we're inseminators because men can be women and women can be men. He says, additionally, my forthcoming bill would codify the definition of wrongful conception to include when a person has demonstrated negligence toward preventing conception during intercourse. And, let me zoom this up a bit so you can see it better. This legislation will allow Pennsylvanians to take civil action against inseminators for unwanted pregnancy who wrongfully conceive a child with them. Last, this bill would empower Pennsylvanians to enforce this prospective law by offering a $10,000 reward for reporting the proper authorities, those scofflaws, who have not complied with the statute within the allotted time frame. As long as legislators continue to restrict the reproductive rights of cis women, trans men, and non-binary folks, there should be laws to address the responsibility of men who impregnate them. So here's the thing. Women can choose or not to choose to get pregnant. Women can choose or not to choose to delete their baby if they so wish, with the exception of Texas after 6 weeks. But then they can just drive to a different state and get it done. But that aside, what he's saying is that if you have had a third kid, or your 40th birthday, whichever comes first, we're going to force sterilization on men. That's what really this boils down to. Now let's just...
Isn't that crazy? You know, do not tell me that women have no choice, that it's her body, it's her choice. It's like wrong. You know why? You're not going to tell me. You know how many of these girls, they just go out to a bar or party and they get drunk. I saw a video where the guy was in the Navy. He was at a party. He got drunk. Was with a girl who was drunk. He was 4 times more drunk than she was. His alcohol level was 4 times higher than hers. But they said that he was capable of making decisions and she wasn't. His level was 4 times higher. He said, I don't know what the hell I was doing. He was like, I was drunk off my A, you know? And it's like, duh. But he got screwed over and he got kicked out and kind of all this crap. Because it's not equal. Women don't want to be treated equally. They want to be treated special. Or at least some of these lunatic women want this. Like men and women are not equal. Do not tell me that this girl did not have a choice. She had a choice to go to the party or not. She had a choice to drink. She had a choice to drink so much that she drank excessively and got drunk. She had a choice to go back to some place, to her place or his place or wherever, and to do the deed. She had the choice to, before all of this, to get on birth control, to take the pill or the shot. She had a choice to take a pregnancy test to see if she was pregnant afterwards, or we can back it up. She had a choice that after the deed was done to use the foam. And the foam it's just that, and it up in there, and you just foam it, and it kills all that he's done. So she had a choice. She had a choice to take the morning after pill. She had all of these choices. What do you mean she doesn't have a choice? You know what he can't do? He can't assault her. That's illegal. It's already illegal. It's been illegal. If he forces himself on her, it's illegal. And so, whenever a girl gets assaulted like that, does she get to kill him? So then, why does she get to kill the baby? I tell you what, though. From my understanding, what my personal opinion is that the 6 months or 6 weeks that Texas has done makes no sense to me. Because it seems like 12 weeks seems like the appropriate medical response. based off of the facts that I currently understand. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just saying that off of what I know, it's like, well, no, 12 weeks sounds completely reasonable. Completely. It's like the first trimester, 12 weeks, it's roughly 3 months. And so that means that a girl, you know, she's missed 3 periods by then. Plenty of time to go take a pregnancy test to find out whether or not if she's pregnant. And if she wants to have an abortion because she's been assaulted or if something happened with a family member, it's like, that's her decision. You know, this was something that, you know, she did not want the assault, and chances are she did not want the family intercourse to happen either, you know, because from my understanding, most of these occurrences happen with a father. So it's like, yeah, screw that crap. But you know what? I don't need more than 12 weeks. I've known forever, whenever I was in school, because of course they talked about this stuff. It's like I knew that I would immediately go out and have an abortion. No ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. And I don't give a damn what anybody would say. I would do that. And it's because I'm not going to look at a child who looks like somebody, half looks like somebody who did this horrible thing to me. And I'm not going to look at that for the rest of my life. But I'm going to do it early, though. As soon as I find out, I'm not going to wait until this baby starts developing. That's not going to happen. It's like I'm not stupid. I am not stupid. I know how to make a decision. I know how to take in information. I don't understand why they treat women as like they're so stupid and they're so incompetent that they need more time. It's like, why? How stupid do you think that they are? I don't think that they're stupid at all. I think that they're absolutely 100% capable of making a decision within 12 weeks or less. Makes no sense to me at all. Stop calling women stupid. So, yeah, this is ridiculous. So these are lies. So this is a very long video. What are we at? An hour and 20 minutes. I just wanted to show what this is going to look like. So I guess with the last little bit, I'm not going to do it on video or anything right now. But this would be, just like I created this tab for Edmonton City News, I would make one for Rep. Chris Rabb about him being a liar because women have choices. She chose whether or not to be on the pill, to go get the shot, to get drunk, to show up at the party, to go alone with this guy somewhere, to do the deed, to not do the foam afterwards, for all of this stuff. She had choices out of her butt. Well, what choices do men have? You know, the difference why women are called sluts and men are called players is because women can go out and they can have sex with just about any single guy that they walk up to. If a guy goes up and asks all these women to have sex, he's going to get slapped by all these women. Because it's easy for women and it's hard for men. That's why women are sluts and men aren't. It's stupid. It's clowndom. So if you've understood this, if this makes sense to you, or more importantly, if you want to be able to start fighting lies, if you want to defend truth, and you would like this website, because I tell you what, whenever the website is going, I'm not ever kicking anybody off for anything. I'm not going to make those kinds of calls at all. And that's because I don't have to. Because you're going to have to prove it to everyone that, oh yeah, hey, this is true. Thumbs up. Or it's not. So it'll gain traction or it won't. So, and you will have to fill it out. You know, you're going to have to put in a link. You're going to have to put in the title, just like I've done. You know, probably more, but for right now, to start off, since it's just me, you know, it's going to have to be basic stuff. A lot of the stuff that I want to have on it, I'm just going to have to hire programmers. It's like, I I'm nowhere near doing that as of yet. So if you are interested in the truth getting out there, and if I've done something, reported on something wrong, I don't care. Help me out. I do not care at all about being my personal take on this being wrong or right. I don't give a damn. I want the truth. I know that I'm not perfect. I know I'm going to get some of this stuff wrong. Don't care. But together, with help from good people like you, yeah, we'll make this happen. So if this is something you'd like to do, man, help me out. Like I'm trying to help everyone out. Like I'm trying to help myself out and you out and everyone else. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe and become a member. That's all that you need to do. You can change your mind later if you want to. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. See you again later. Bye.